Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K channel. Today we are going over to the continent of Asia, and we're going to be checking out a band called Crystal Lake. Now, so Kirk knew that one, yes. So Crystal Lake, and the song is Rebirth. I'm trying to think if I've actually heard this song or not, but
It's in them live.
It should be in there. It's aggressive, so hopefully we're going to thoroughly enjoy it. But let's go check it out. Okay, Crystal Lake and Rebirth. Okay. Andy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good way of
Okay.
putting it. I mean, what a ferocious opening. First few minutes. I mean, if someone was to say, who's not into metal, or I'll play me something really heavy, really aggressive. That'd be something you would go to demonstrate the realms of extreme metal. I mean, that's deathcore, I'd imagine, isn't it? But yeah, great vocals. Love the guitars, love the music, the visuals as well. The sort of the light beams behind each individual member, I thought was really good. And then I noted down, we've got sort of bit of relief, bit of light relief as a sort of midsection, and then we'll dive back into it. But we didn't. It just carried on down that sort of outro for the last 2/3 of the song almost, which I was really surprised at, to be honest. I mean, I like that purple light demon creature that was created on the screen. That's a great visual. But a little bit disappointed if I'm honest. I thought that middle section where everything just sort of cooled down and was just going to be like an interlude, and we'd be back into like the ferocity of the opening part of the song. But yeah, good band. I can see the appeal. They deserve to be sort of more well known, I think, with with what they're delivering. But just a little bit disappointed in the format of that particular song.
Yeah, I think that's where my kind of head went with. I had multiple different emotional feelings throughout this particular track. So it kicked in. I was like, okay, cool, deathcore. It's going aggressive. Then there was these elements of the electronica stuff coming through, and I'm like, I'm gonna sound like a gatekeeper here, by the way, while I still say this, but the electronica stuff came in, and I'm like, did you really need that? Is this? Yeah. I was getting very black and white emotions here. I was like, I'm really enjoying this, and then I'm like, I'm really now disconnected from this song. This is the point where I would press skip, and then they'd do something else. I'd be like, oh, I'm really liking this again, and then they'd do something else, and I'd be like, no, I'm not enjoying this. It wasn't a grey area. I either liked it or I hated it, and that's what I was getting, this pooled emotion. And then then you sort of see this constellation thing walking across the sea, and I'm like, huh? Okay. Then I decided to close my eyes. And this song sounded so much better once you take the visuals out. When you actually just listen to the song, you can kind of just let yourself go with it, and it works a lot better. The visuals were a complete distraction and took away from the actual track for me. Now, I don't know where this song sits in the album, but this feels like this was a concept album. And this song, that transition, the reason why there was that big piano-based electronica lead was it's meant to be like the transition into the next song. And this is where sometimes songs on their own don't work as well as they do as part of a whole album. And I think this is one of those songs. The aggressiveness at the beginning was basically the previous song. It was that transition from the previous song into the new song, punching it up, and then you get this little fade out where it's meant to be that rebirth going into the next song, maybe. And I think if you were to listen to the track of the whole song or the whole album back to back, it probably makes a lot more sense than it does as a standalone single. Because I was sitting there going, I was exactly like you, and I'm like, okay, we've got this reprieve, it's going to come back in heavy. And then I was looking at the timer on the bottom going, no, they haven't got time to bring anything back in now. And right, well, this feels like a waste, but if it's as part of a concept album, it makes a lot more sense in my head. But yeah, obviously very talented guys. But I just don't see it on first listening on one song. I'm not connected with it at all. But there is enough about the band that I want to check out more of them. But I really didn't like the video. The video was such a distraction from the music, and I think that put me off, weirdly. I'd much rather have just heard the song, and I'd have actually got into the song more on its own if I didn't have the video distract me. Kirk?
Probably Japan's best known metalcore band. They've achieved success, certainly in the United States of America. They're on a lot of the big tours, always in a support capacity, because the Japanese, they're not big enough to headline out there, but they've played with the big names. To me, you're right, that song ends up turning into a prog metal odyssey towards the end, isn't it? It's like we're all blinded by the light at the end, that they've found enlightenment. Musically, the first 2 minutes are just chaos, aren't they? And I love that. Like you said, Andy, it's so aggressive. And did you hear, like most metalcore bands post 2009, they had to get in a homage to Meshuggah's Bleed, the drums 60 notes with a riff. All bands do that. They actually only did it for about 20 seconds. It really worked. The chorus as well, I don't know how, if I haven't seen these live, I would say that's difficult to play live. So I have seen them on stage at the 2019 Brutal Assault Festival in the Czech Republic, and they were on just before Ginger. So these were fantastic. Ginger were even better. but the drummer live was doing exactly what you're hearing there. It came, and this is in an open air festival, so these can replicate that live, which is so impressive. Yeah, what I like about this song is so unpredictable. So that didn't really alienate me, Andy, the ending to it. If anything, I was pleased because it's like, as long as you don't go for the clean chorus, which spoils all metalcore, but they're a bit like that Australian band Northlane. Metalcore is still relevant with the bands that are taking risks. And I wasn't aware that Crystal Lake were doing it to that extent like Northlane. So I'm excited about the next album, if they're going to be continuing in that direction. The aesthetics remind me of Born of Osiris, but yeah, that song, I think you're right, Dave, it probably is somewhere on the album as a transition point and probably doesn't work as a single. It reminds me, there's a famous song by Periphery called Ragnarok, and that does the same. 2 minutes of chaos, and then the last 2 minutes are really soothing, and you're like, what is the structure of this song? Are there 2 parts to it? And that felt like there was a part 1 and a part 2 as well. Now, I wasn't distracted by the visuals. If anything, I think it enhanced the experience. If it was just them playing in a warehouse, we'd have been criticizing that, wouldn't we? And, you know, as a metalcore band, it's their duty, isn't it, to be filming a video in a warehouse?
Yeah, true.
Playing 7-string guitars. So
yeah,
at least they tried to do something different. I'd be interested to know which album that is off, because I will give it a listen. And yeah, you can see why they are a big name within modern metalcore, and they are flying the flag for Japan, aren't they? So we can expect to see them do a world tour. They will definitely be playing Great Britain at some point. They will be playing Europe, United States, all over. So yeah, really pleased by that song. I've not heard it before. I don't know if they did play that song live, but that double kick footwork from the drummer, he absolutely can replicate it in a live environment. So no need to criticize it for being overproduced, because they can do it live.
Okay. Just to clarify, so I've had a quick look into it. This wasn't off of an album. It was this year's single, and it was a 2-parter. So it was Denial and Rebirth. Denial is 1 minute and 33 seconds long, which is the first part of it, and was put out as a single. Now that's going to piss me off straight away. 1 minute and 33 seconds? Come on, guys. With a 3 minute 50 seconds, just put them as one bloody song. Stop being lazy. Just because you want to get 2 singles out of it. Come on. For me, Denial, Rebirth, that Rebirth one, which is the one we just obviously checked out, that felt like that was the first part and it was going somewhere. The fact that that's the second single and that was what it faded out of, and there's no album that's come off of, well, that we know of at this point in time, it's been put out as a single only, is even more disappointing for me, because it then doesn't make any sense. If you've written this as a single, I did think maybe if it was a 2-part, maybe if Denial was a much bigger song and then this was like the shorter part, the end of 3 minute 50 had been like this blast beat with this extended outro, I'd be like, okay, yeah, 5 minute Denial with this 3 minute 50 Rebirth makes sense. But the fact that Denial is the short song at the beginning kind of makes this make even less sense to me. But yeah, that's just a personal opinion, I guess. It's not going to convince me on the band, but I would love to know from viewers' points of view which ones we should have done from earlier albums, maybe off of Helix, which was the last full album. What we should check out from there to get a better understanding of Crystal Lake. Because I don't think this is a great representation of the band as a whole, or at least I hope it's not anyway. But there we go. That was Crystal Lake and Rebirth. If you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.